It feels like it belongs to someone else.
Hello everyone and welcome to my channel and welcome to the first episode review of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and this is also my first episode review ever. I did review WandaVision, but I only reviewed it as a whole series, and with this I'm doing it episode by episode, so there will be one up every Friday as well as my normal Sunday videos. So at the start of the episode we get told about how people seem to think that Captain America's on the moon, which shows that they don't really know what actually happened. And then Sam says he's going to Washington, which indicates he could be seeing Captain America, but he doesn't. He goes to like some sort of memorial for him, where that like memorial kind of museum thing is that was seen in the previous movies. So it was definitely more of like a tribute kind of memorial now, as they did change it up. It was a bit different to what we saw in the movies. So it does just show that the public do think Captain America still is alive and that he's just retired kind of thing, I guess. And then Rhodey does make an appearance, obviously because he does work with the government and this was like a government kind of event. So it was nice seeing him again, and I do think we will see him again in another episode. Maybe not like as a big character, but just one that's nice to see again. And the reason why I'm assuming that event happened was because Sam was giving up the shield that Captain America gave him. He felt like it was just wrong having it, so because he knew it belonged to Captain America, he didn't think he should have it, so he decided to give it to the government to put it on display. And obviously, as we've seen in previous movies, they should never trust the government. We also get to see a bit of Sam's backstory and his like personal life. We get to see that he does have a sister and some nephews, so we've got to see more of like a family kind of aspect of him, because obviously in the films he wasn't like one of the main characters. So we didn't really get to see much about him. We only knew that he was in the forces or something, and that's how he got the wings. And yeah, so it was nice to see some sort of personal life from them, from both of them actually, which I'll talk about in a minute. So when we first see Bucky, it starts off with him being the Winter Soldier, and this confused me a bit because obviously it wasn't an event that we've seen before, so I didn't know if he was just having flashbacks or he somehow got bad again. But he was just having a nightmare, and he had a nightmare because he killed an innocent civilian, which, you know, wasn't nice, but he was Winter Soldier, and him having this dream makes us aware that he has got all of his memories back and his head's aware of everything that's happened and things like that. So he does know everything that he has done even as a Winter Soldier when he was being controlled, and you can tell that it really is having a huge effect on him. And as we see that he has like a little elderly friend, and it turns out that that innocent person that got killed was the elderly friend's son, and you could tell when he was talking about his son it was really affecting Bucky, because he realised, well, he knew that he was the one that killed him, and the elderly man didn't know how his son died. No one ever told him. Yeah, so it's nice to see Bucky having a normal sort of life, even though his life isn't normal, but like some sort of aspect of a normal life. So it's quite nice seeing that happen. And then we see some sort of villain come into the episode where they call it the Flag Smashers, and they're like the ones that, I don't actually know what they were doing. I think they were like stealing some money or something, because they chucked some bags out the window, and then that guy who works with Sam tried to like stop them, and then obviously he told Sam about it, so now Sam's aware. But the Flag Smashers seem to have some sort of extraordinary strength. The way the main guy chucked the people about, you couldn't do that if you were completely human or had normal abilities. So yeah, and we also know that they're not the only villains that are going to come into it. As I've seen from the trailers and the posters, there's going to be more. This is what I meant when they were not the only villains. There's a new Captain America, which when Sam handed in the shield, they clearly didn't tell him about them finding a new Captain America, so I thought it was a bit iffy that they didn't tell him. The way that they portrayed that new Captain America, it didn't have a good feeling, so I feel like he could be one of the leaders of like the villain group, or he could be another villain, but there's something not good around that character. So I don't see Bucky and Sam together at all in this episode, which is obvious because it was just an introductory episode to show their lives. So this could mean that obviously because Sam knows about the bad guys, that he could call them Bucky for help. Or what I was thinking, what I've thought of before, is we know Sharon Carter's in this. So what I was thinking, I don't know if she still works for S.H.I.E.L.D. or whatever her story is right now, but I was thinking maybe she could get them together. Maybe that's how she comes into it, because I was trying to think of how she comes into this. I think she either will get them together or she will be like an ally to them. So that's definitely my thoughts on her. I think that it was a perfect introductory episode. I feel like we got personal stories and we got a backstory of the characters, so they weren't just, you know, like constantly fighting, and we just knew them for fighting. We actually got to know them more on a personal level, which I feel like is really important. Another point that I thought about is that easily but not overwhelmingly sets up the villains of the story. We see glimpses, or we get to build up our own ideas about who the villains could be without it being too in your face and intense. Obviously we saw the guys trying to steal the money or whatever they were trying to steal, and they're obviously going to be villains because we're wearing the masks and that's in the posters in the trailers. But and then also the Captain America, that was set up well, the way they were filming it really just didn't give good vibes, so it let us think of stuff ourselves, so it wasn't too intense and like, here's the villains, rather than like, you know what I mean, it like builds up slowly rather than like being in your face. I really did enjoy the cinematography. I did find it a bit weird seeing such a high production as a TV show. Obviously we did have WandaVision before, but I mean like this is all, it's just going to be a lot of fighting scenes, so it was like weird seeing that kind of thing. It basically is a movie, really, think about it, just cutting to different parts. My final point is that Marvel has been really good with giving us the introductions to the characters and us getting to learn more about the characters before the real action starts. It was the same with WandaVision. Obviously it's not going to be the exact same, but we did get to learn more about the characters and what happened in previous things before it got intense. So I feel like this is doing the same. I think this was a perfect introductory episode, even though I know some people won't agree with me. So my ratings for this episode is 8 out of 10, just because I feel like that I couldn't find any faults in it, really. I feel like we did get to see the characters as who they are as people, rather than just them constantly fighting, and I thought it was quite refreshing to see, especially Bucky, on a personal level, because the last time we saw him with any girls was before the war happened. Obviously he's a completely different person now, so it's nice to see him getting out there and having a normal life. Thank you so much for watching. So I'm doing these weekly, so if you subscribe down below you won't miss another video, and I will be posting again on Sunday, so I hope you look forward to that, and I'll see you next time. Bye.